Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Creative Sports and Marketing Talk. Today, we're going to get into LA's big trade that was just announced, and we're also going to get into branding. What is the purpose of branding, what it does for your image and corporate business, and also with athletes. So let's get into it. Lakers trade for Anthony Davis. From the front end, this looks really great. The Lakers have acquired Anthony Davis from the Pelicans in exchange for Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, and Josh Hart, and three future first-round picks, including the number 4 overall selection in this upcoming draft. From a PR standpoint, this seems like a huge win for the Lakers. Everyone watching will want to see these two players working at it together, but history has shown that this may not be something that is a good thing, as we've seen in the past with LeBron James and some of the teams he's been with. Combining multiple players together, really star players together, especially in basketball when you already have a limited number of players, doesn't tend to always work out to its benefit. Same goes for football. You can see the history in there too when you have two, great receivers competing for that ball. Who are you going to throw to? Who's going to shoot? Who's going to do what? So I don't know if this is a great move overall for the team from a PR standpoint. It shows that the team is looking to try something different, which is always a good thing. But let's kind of see how it works. Let's see how the team does with these two players on the same team together. Getting rid of those first round picks. I don't know. That's a kind of a risky move. A lot of times, I always say it's better to go in patiently and kind of see where picks take you and grow your team from a patient standpoint and kind of going through that aspect. Now, next up is let's talk about our marketing tip for this week. What is the purpose of branding and how your company image is more than just a logo? So the funny thing with branding is everyone kind of assumes that branding is just a logo. To me, branding is so much more. To most companies out there, branding is so much more. The importance of having a logo is something that many business owners realize when they're just starting out. There's a common misconception, though, that if you have a logo, you've then done your job in creating your company's identity and need not to take your branding any further. However, this is far from the truth. While a logo is incredibly important as part of the establishment of your identity, it's only one part of a very large puzzle. That puzzle is your brand, and there's many parts involved. Eventually, at some point or another, as your business continues to grow, you're going to realize the importance of all the rest of the pieces in making the whole picture come together. So let's talk about it. What is the purpose of branding? Branding is essentially a promise a company makes to its consumers. The purpose of branding in marketing is to establish trust within your consumers and create loyalty. Your brand not only gives your buyers a way to remember you, but it also creates an identity for your business and sets you apart from your competition. And that's very key there, sets you apart from your competition. So as you can tell from that just doesn't have to do with your logo. That has to do with your overall fonts, your overall consistency of your brand. And now the difference between a logo and a brand. Though the two are often confused, there's a definite difference between a logo and a brand. The logo is just one element of a brand. So look at the logo as just maybe more of the starting point of your brand. A brand is composed of multiple elements, some tangible, like let's say logos, graphics, colors, and some that are intangible, like let's say building a customer persona, the emotions, the positioning of your company. While a logo may be used to represent a brand in some instances, it is not the sole element that establishes a company's brand and identity. Now, what I like to tell a lot of clients on what makes a brand successful, it's the ability to access its audience in the most effective manner. Yes, a brand should be unique and be able to invoke an emotional response from consumers, but should also have a high level of exposure and remain consistent. And that's key there. That's the key thing I always tell clients, consistent across all channels. Check your competition. Make sure you do your research when building your brand. You don't want to get into any trademark issues or any sort of law situations. A lot of times I've seen people go out, logo has been done before, but if you build your brand correctly, you won't have to worry about that. If you check your competition, build your mission statement, your customer personas, and all that correctly from the beginning, and not just prematurely go straight out and try to find a freelancer or something like that, that's usually the best direction to go. I always say create brand guidelines. I've seen so many companies that don't create brand guidelines. And what brand guidelines are is they're basically, giving you a huge document that states all of the colors, printed and web, all of the fonts, how to use imagery, how to position yourself within with using your mission statement, your values, and having it all in a guided book. So as you grow your company, you can utilize that across all medias. You can send it off to multiple designers, multiple individuals that are helping you build your brand. Me, myself, I'm growing a bit my own business, and part of that is, letting all of my employees see what we have to do to keep my brand consistent, because as I grow, I want to build loyalty and trust with my clients. And to do so, I need to show them that I can do what I give them, if that makes sense. I need to prove to them that, hey, when they go out on the side of the street and they may see a billboard of mine, that, hey, look, I remember them. That's something that I remember. That shows loyalty, that they can kind of remember you, and you can kind of utilize that, especially when it comes to your messaging and how you utilize that messaging and that iconic feel and the way you just put it all together. So overall, that's kind of the basics of the purpose of branding, really building loyalty and trust. And I'd say if you are looking to build a brand strategy yourself, if you're just starting out in a business, or if you're about, let's say, a couple years to 3 years in, is probably a good time to really focus in on taking that step with building a successful brand. Start from the beginning. Even if you have a logo, start from the beginning. You're not to put you down unless you're a logo designer or a creative firm. You're not. Just if you know how to use a program, or you know someone that does, you need to let them do their job. You need to let them help you guide your way through it. And you start at the beginning and you build from the ground up. Start with building your values and your customer personas and information that you can build that off of to build your next step, which is your identity and your messaging, and then utilize that to build the next step, which is how are you going to build your reoccurring revenue for your business and things of that nature. And that's all I have for today. Leave a comment below if you have any questions or if you have any concerns about what I've said today. I want to thank you, and you guys all have a great day.